24 hours of non-stop indie hip-hop right here on Rap Nerd Radio.
Purpose every time that we choose to descend, injecting ourselves to bring to the surface the good news again. Don't believe the manga Sophia or Peyton's War. Isn't this collective consciousness already so scarred by far? Missing the mark if you listen to the mass media. Programming the fear, disease and war is what's eating ya.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy D-Sick, aka the Rap Nerd, and we got an amazing guest today, man, all the way from Lodz, Poland. Lived in Germany for a while, migrated to the US at the age of 9. Here to talk about knowing yourself, here to talk about living and listening to your higher self, energy, frequencies, consciousness, all that, and to talk about the new album, THOTH. We got Artur, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, man?
What's up? Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. What's going on?
Thank you, sir. I said that right. It's Artur, right?
Yeah, it's Artur. Mm-hmm.
Artur. Okay. It's a pleasure to have you, man. And I definitely want you to, for the fans that aren't really familiar with where you're from and what you're about, if you could just kind of give a quick background on yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I was born in Poland at a time when Poland was under communist rule. So it was a regime. It was I would say, in a very contrast to what you have in the US. It was an oppression that was very, overt. And in the US, you have a system going where you don't really need fences and you don't really need walls, where you do a lot of things through money and certain things. And so I was raised in Poland, and at the age of 7, when my dad had the chance to, he slipped through the gaps and, became a refugee in Germany, which opened up us the doors to then 3 years after that make the move and escape as a family that system.
Okay.
And we lived for 18 years in Germany. I lived in Germany and, got to experience a life as an Ausländer. As an alien. That was a very interesting experience.
Was it a culture shock to go from Poland to Germany? Was everything just completely different, or were there some similarities between the two?
It was a great culture shock. Like, first and foremost, the language in and of itself, I remember. I was sitting in a car, I didn't speak no German whatsoever. From my perspective, because, there was the enemy, you know what I mean? They came, invaded Poland, from one day to the next. Hitler came to Poland first and was like, hey, I want to do this and that, do you want to join us? Poland was like, heck no. He was like, cool. And then the next day he invaded Poland first. And so it was like, to me, there was like, man, we're going to the enemy's territory to live there.
This kind of gives me a little bit of insight on the type of music that you make, man. It seems like you've been through a lot.
Appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, a lot of experiences, I would say. I learned from them all, so I'm very grateful. A lot of humbling experiences, I would say. And I think in the end, where I'm at right now, and, from all of that, emerging all of that, I would say, it's very humbling. And staying humble is for me always very rewarding, and being grateful for everything, truly, because nothing happens to me, everything truly happened for me. And the more I put myself into that position, superposition myself in this way, the more everything truly serves me. And so I'm very grateful for that.
Lately, here myself on my own spiritual journey, I've been learning a lot about manifestation. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of manifestation? You mentioned it a few times on this album.
Yeah, this is only my humble perspective, that physical reality in and of itself, what we're experiencing, is a mirror of what is going on inside of us. And so all of the things, all of the conflicts, all of the drama, but also all the good things. And truly, I assume everybody wants to be to some degree happy and experience some harmony and some exciting things. However, one defines that to be, whatever one defines it to be exciting. but for the most part in a positive way. And so all of that is already, it wants to come to you at all times, but many times all of the negative things that we have soaked up through our family, through the exposure to many different things, we don't allow ourselves to receive all of that already wants to come to us, that is representative of who and what we truly are, that propels us forward. And so in my own personal point of view, this is a mirror reflection of what is going on inside of us. So as above, so below, if you wish to truly effectively change anything about your experience, it would be very well advised to start with the idea that you have about yourself. You know, how you define yourself. Are you a physical person, a human being that has a spiritual experience, or are you spirit that chooses this identity in order to partake in this physicality in this way, and therefore then just a doorway that can at any time allow for intelligence, infinite intelligence, to come through in whatever way is required at the given moment.
What would you advise someone to do if they wanted to start on a spiritual journey? If someone wanted to start learning themselves, what would you advise them to do? Where would they start?
To go into silence, to spend some time with themselves, to go into nature, take a walk, to do something kind to themselves, to start to appreciate the inner child in a way, because I think this is the greatest disconnect for most of us, because we are as children already so connected, you know, up to a certain age. It's just that all of that, the spirit is really soft, spirit is joyful, spirit is steadfast, is constantly changing, is spontaneous, giving you whatever you need at the given moment. And in our life, when we start to become grown-ups, we become more and more serious, and we start to shift more and more into the mental sphere of our being and away from the heart, and therefore we are less spontaneous, and we close ourselves up to that information that we're receiving at all time from spirit through the heart. But when we become so mental, you know, we become more serious, we dial down, we become more grown up in a way, and therefore more and more disconnected. So it's really just about dropping into the heart, which I think is most elevating. So
okay, I think that's really great advice. I want to ask you a few questions about the album, The Harmonizing of the Hemispheres. How'd you come up with that title, and could you explain to everyone the significance of it?
Thank you for asking. Yeah, I felt a strong connection coming on, because, you know, these connections, for myself, I feel them coming on. There's a season for each and every connection, and it was the time for my connection with Thoth. And so Thoth wanted to share something with me through music, through vibration, through sound, through this kind of encodement. And we just began to play with Thoth, Thoth, and he made me aware of this. And I was like, oh, what a synchronicity, because truly it is about the harmonizing of the divine feminine, divine masculine, which is represented by the brain hemispheres then in this way. And at the same time, it is the healing of the heart, because it is representative then of that trinity then, you know, the divine feminine, divine masculine, the sacred heart. And therefore it was so synchronous, you know, it just like fell into my lap, you know.
Okay, I love that, man, and I love that you're so passionate about the message that you want to get out there to everyone. It seems very, very near and dear to your heart, and I want to know, was there a moment that made you decide that you now have purpose? Like, what moment was it that you realized you have a purpose to spread this word?
You know, it's again that thing with the seasons, you know, it's at different times. I had that feeling when I started to rap, but at the time the message was a different one, you know. And the more I clear this channel, the more the message is resonating with the purest core of that message. And in of itself, it is at the core really the law of one, that we are truly all one being, shining forth through many different facets, and each and every facet is authentic, is valid, is
By we're all one being, are you saying, in other words, that we're all connected in some way?
I'm saying that intelligence that is shining forth through each and every one of us is that same intelligence. It is simply shining forth through our personal lens. This ray of the sun is coming forth in a distortion that is representative of that lens that we are, which is perfect for what it is, because the one that is all learns about itself through each and every one of us in this way.
Okay, so like you said, knowledge is infinite. It seems like it can continue to go on and on and on.
Yeah, this adventure never ends.
Okay, that's a really great message to push, man. I really applaud you for that.
Thank you, brother.
Coming up, when it came to the music, are there any specific artists that you listen to, whether rap or not? Just, did you draw any inspiration from anywhere?
I grew up, I'm a child of the 80s, man. I grew up with KRS, Boogie Down Productions, Pac, you name it, Busta Rhymes, Das FX, Bush Babies.
That golden era.
Menace Clan, Onyx, Redman, Method Man, The Good Planets, everything, Mobb Deep, everything, you name it. I mean, like, that's like...
Right.
Always...
I could hear a little bit of influence from all of that when listening to the music, and I appreciated that you decided to do that style with a positive message. I want to ask you, are you focusing on the American market when you're putting out your music, or is it more of a worldwide, global focus for you?
No, I'm not really focusing that much on that. It's just, for me, basically, I don't care about the result, to be honest. I totally feel liberated by that, because really it is for me more than anything, because I'm 40, I'm going to be 44 years this year. So for me, it's more than anything therapy. You know what I mean? I got to get something off my chest, and it comes through in a creative way. I'm grateful for that. It brings me a lot of joy because I get some positive feedback, and the moment I get the positive feedback, I know that when something comes through, if it inspires one person, if it touches one person, man, I'm blessed to have been able to be part of that, and so that's already more than I could ever ask for. And yeah, I'm just excited to share it however I can share it, and truly to reach out and to do a blog. That was something that I was just inspired to do spontaneously, and I just went with it, you know what I mean? I'm not saying this or that gonna come from that. I'm just excited about the experience. I want to learn from it, and here we are,
I definitely also wanted to ask you about the track number 9. I think that was one of my favorite ones, the embodiment of 9. If you could you just explain the significance of the number 9 for you?
Yeah. So the way I understand it, the 5 is the number of humanity. Numerologically speaking, is representative of the energy of humanity. Okay. And the 4 is representative of transformation, of awakening, of ascension. And so therefore the 9, it is representative of the ascending human being, of the cosmic human being. And therefore, I think, in my personal understanding, this, what it says in the Bible, for example, just as many other scriptures, the Vedic scripture, many scriptures, all of these scriptures contain mathematic encodement. And one of these encodements, which is crystal clear, is 144,000. Only 144,000 will make it to heaven. What are you even talking about? This very specific number, you know what I mean? It's different. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's very arbitrary, but it is a mathematical code, and there's a lot of encodement, just the messenger, Malachi, there's also there's a mathematical number behind it. There's numerology to it. All of this has numerological meaning, and 144, that is again the 9. And so that is representative of the awakening, ascending human being that is awakening to her own multidimensionality. And that is what it's about, truly. That is what Yeshua was about, was basically saying you will be able of this and more. You know, he was just showing the potential to us. But that second coming, in my personal understanding, is not coming through one person. It's coming through each and every one of us stepping into this, into our own multidimensionality, into our own collaboration with our own higher self.
Okay, that's a very interesting perspective, man. I love that. How long have you actually been making music?
You know, child of the 80s, you know, born in the 80s, born in 1980. So I've been listening to music, you know, because I grew up in Germany. Like, I listened in Poland when I was 7. I listened a little bit to some music here and there from like some audio cassettes. And there was like some pop music and this and that, whatever was there, whatever audio cassettes they had. I remember some soundtracks, you know, soundtrack music. And then in Germany, the first record that I could buy for myself, there was a hip hop album. It was the Fantastic Four, Die Fantastischen Vier. It was in German, you know, German hip hop. And I was like, oh, cool, cool, cool. And I saw the video. And then, you know, I started to listen to American rap. And, you know, that changed everything for me. I mean, this like opened so much for me. Like, because I didn't speak no English at all at the time, you know, that opened a lot of doors for me in my mind.
Yeah, I really admire that too. I feel like it takes a lot of brain power to be able to take on 3 different languages and even to wrap them in a poetic form. I think that takes a lot, and I want to salute you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, but I want to say, really, like, you know, it's just simply a result, I think, of much a result of my upbringing, just because I happened to find myself in these cultures. But I just followed my excitement, and the more you do something with love and with excitement, the easier it comes to you. If you just have, you know, sit down and somebody tells you, hey, you got to learn all this language, it's just like, oh man, it comes to you so difficult, you know, it's just like pulling teeth. But if you do it because there's something that, you know, excites you about it, because, you know, you wish to so much to write a song in English, and you hear others rap and the flows in English, and you resonate with that so much, oh man, it comes so much easier, you know what I mean? And believe you me, my first English raps, they were so crap, man.
I mean, your whole story to me says perseverance, man. It seems like no matter what obstacles were put in front of you, you just kept going, kept going. And I love that. And since your music is spiritually based, I kind of want to know your opinion on just religion in general. You know, spirituality and religion are 2 very different things. What are your thoughts on religion?
You know, in my understanding, what happened on this planet, there was a great disconnect, and people lost because of this disconnect, because of this sudden jump in evolution. They lost the connection, the natural connection to the natural world, and because of that, to the spiritual world. And somebody had to step in and explain certain concepts in order to give them, you know, baby steps in order to make them understand that truly your divinity is not outside of yourself, but had to start somewhere because of this great fall in consciousness. And so there were concepts given, and everybody just tried to make sense of it, work that puzzle. And I don't think that people did things maliciously. They just gave us the best that they had at that given time. And at the core, you know, it is teaching a lot of those religions, teach a lot of great values, but there are always people who, with, you know, through their lens, through their belief systems, will interpret things in ways, they will find ways to try to control things, to try to control people, situations. And, you know, it is more a reflection of the human state rather than of religions themselves. But yeah, spirituality, I think, is religion is like somebody had a spiritual experience and they would tell you about it. But spirituality is you are going through your own experience, you know.
Absolutely. That's an interesting perspective too. I kind of would have to agree with that. It does seem like there are times where religion can be used as a means to control, but at its core, sometimes it may teach some of those good principles that can carry you through life.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
So it's almost like whatever you believe, it's like whatever keeps you going. Like the old saying goes, like whatever floats your boat. Like everyone
Yeah,
draws inspiration in their own way, right?
yeah, absolutely. And some people they will work the same puzzle, and man, they will see all evil in everything, and some people will work the same puzzle and it will all serve them so well, and they will be blessing to others.
What's next what's on the way for you? What you got? You working on anything else? Another project or what's going
Yeah,
on?
I'm so excited to work with a friend of mine who's a great channeler, and it's going to be an international project. We're going to make a video, and with amazing singer, and so I'm excited about that. And another project with my homie, the Swimming Bird, amazing rapper, and some other things coming. All the time working on some new projects. Really excited about the new video that I'm working on. So.
Okay, sounds good. And then just out of curiosity, do you do some production and recording or any of that on your own, or do you get like external help with that?
So the last video that I produced, which is for the newest single, the newest release in The Council of Nine, that is the first video in which I reached out and, I hired a team on Fiverr to create for me an anime video. And then once I had that, I just took that and took a lot of my own recordings and cut it all together, and created this way a video, which gave me a lot of inspiration. It was like basically collaborating with people in a multidimensional way, because there was a lot of happening between us consciously and subconsciously, and it really resulted in something that was worth the effort, I would say.
Right. What would you say to some of the artists that think that they could possibly be too old to rap, or that their time may have passed? Some people believe hip hop is a young man's sport and this and that. I don't believe such, but what's your take on that?
Yeah, it depends on what you define for yourself as hip hop, what you define for yourself as rap and the game, and what you want to get out of it, and how you want to put yourself out there. All of these things, I think, if there is something that stops you from expressing yourself and from going out there and being yourself, then it's worth to reflect on that and maybe to get rid of these limiting beliefs. Be yourself and do whatever you want to do at any age. That's what I could say.
Okay. And then my last and final question for you. I want to know, if you had one wish, just one hope for the world, what would it be? What would you change if you had the power to do so?
Truly, for people to look into another person's eyes and to see themselves, and that will change everything. Like, all the conflicts that we got, the wars and all of the genocide, all that stuff that's going on, this like again, this, how can you treat another reflection of God, of infinite intelligence, of love and light in this way, of yourself in this way? You are feeling very disconnected, insecure. You don't understand love in order to be able to do something like that. So.
Okay. All righty. That's very useful information. Thank you for coming and dropping some gems for the listeners, and I hope many blessings to you, man.
From the bottom of my heart, appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, you guys, it's your boy D-Sick, aka the Rap Nerd, Artur, signing off, and we're out of here, man. Peace.
Peace.
24 hours of nonstop indie hip hop right here on Rap Nerd Radio.